I had a lot of people on my end being like, you guys have been dating for how long? You still haven't met her family? Because like I said, I didn't meet her family until almost 2.5 years into our relationship. Yeah. So friends on my end, they're like, they love her to death, but they're like, is this serious for her? Are you sure this is serious for her?
Hey y'all, welcome back to Made It Out. Before we get started, I just want to remind everybody to please go and watch our Made It Out to the Polls series about the upcoming election. We're trying to empower all of our listeners to feel ready and confident about voting this election season. And also, we have so many of your favorite lesbians in little cameos explaining political terms. So very fun and funny. But today I am here with Talin Broussard, and we're talking about being in a relationship with someone who is not out of the closet yet. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy we're finally doing this. I feel like we're new friends, but fast friends.
New but fast.
Yeah.
That's the way to go. That's the way to go.
And I'm so excited. You and Prisma are just so cute. We love y'all. So I'm excited to talk about your relationship today. But I want to start with like your dating history. Because I've heard some things, but I want more.
Heard some things. I need a little backstory because what the hell? Yes. Well, I have always kind of been into both. So like dating men and women. And now that I look back, it's actually kind of funny. I'm like, did I do this on purpose? I don't think I did, but I would date a guy and then I would date a girl and then I would date a guy and then I would date a girl. Like I literally just flip flopped. And I'm looking back now and I'm like, oh, like that's kind of weird. I wonder if that was like for a reason.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that all of the people that I've always dated have always been very like eclectic and different. Like you can't look at me and be like, oh, like this is her type. Like everybody's kind of different in their own way. Everybody's kind of like a creative in their own way. So I know that I am heavily drawn to like creative people. But then also too, another underlying sign that was kind of like similar between all of the people that I've ever dated is they maybe weren't the healthiest at communication and maybe they were a little toxic in ways. And, you know, I'm no angel. So I think being in the relationship that you now know me to be in, and that being so healthy, I feel like has shown me that all these years I was like placing the blame on my toxic relationships and this person was so bad and like, can you believe what they did to me? But I was like, dang, like I low-key wasn't even the best person to be. Not saying I deserved all the things that have happened to me, but I was like, oh, like I was sitting here like on my high horse, but it's like, no, you're not all that great either. Like you're obviously attracting all of these toxic situations. Why?
This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Starting a new business can be a lot, y'all. Matilda and I always talk about how 10% of what we actually do is podcasting, and there's so many tasks and so much admin that you don't even think about, and starting a website is one of those. Squarespace is an all-in-one website platform to help you stand out and succeed online. Whether you're just starting out or managing a growing brand, Squarespace makes it easy to create a website, engage with your audience, and sell anything from products to content to time, all in one place and all in your terms. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, www.squarespace.com/dothework to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. This episode is sponsored by Osea. Sometimes even the littlest change in your routine can make the biggest difference. And I recently added Osea's Undaria Algae Shower Gel to my shower lineup, and it has transformed my daily shower from feeling like a chore into something that I actually look forward to. It's the ultimate everything shower essential, and when I use it, I feel like I'm on some luxe vacation using fancy soap in a very rich hotel. Upgrade your shower with clean, vegan face and body care from Osea. Get 10% off your first order site-wide with code MADE at OseaMalibu.com. That's OSEA Malibu.com. You'll get free samples with every single order and free shipping on orders over $60. Don't miss out. Head to OseaMalibu.com and use code MADE for 10% off. Let's talk about y'all's relationship a little bit. How did you meet?
The most romantic way ever. Hinge. Of course. We met on Hinge. And it's actually funny because I swore up and down, I was like, I'm never going on a dating app. Like, I don't judge anybody that does it. Never. But I was like, me, like, no, like, I'm not doing that. Like, I was like, I'm not setting up the profile. I'm not doing another social media. To me, dating apps are like another social media. You know, I was like, I'm not doing that to myself. And then I remember I was at Zinke downtown with a friend at the time.
Oh my God, my ex-girlfriend broke up with me there.
Oh no. Well, good, but
we had a breakup conversation there. And it was a restaurant that anyways.
Do you love it? Or you hate it now?
No, I love it, but it was like I've made new memories there, but it was so trash because it was a relationship it was a restaurant that I really wanted to go to. And then she made the reservation to have the breakup conversation.
Like, why are you doing that to me? But joke's on her because it's like, you thought that you were going to spoil this for me? This is still my favorite place in LA. Dang, that is tragic. Well, you lost a love there, and I guess I found one there. Look at that.
Wow, how beautiful.
Beautiful. Cheers. But so we were there, and I remember she was just like doodling on her phone for a sec, and I was like, what are you doing? And she was like, oh, just like looking at my app. Like, she's like, this girl is 0.002 miles away from me. And I'm like, what? I'm like, you can see how close and far like people are away from you. I was just so intrigued. I was like, wow, they're really like doing it on these dating apps these days. She's like, girl, you need to make one. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. She was like, come on. I was like, no, I'm good. And then she's like, I'll do it. I'll do it for you. I'm like, go ahead, have fun. Like, have fun. Whatever. So she sets me up a profile. She like is answering all my little prompts and everything. She's like, ooh, put this picture, use this picture, do this, do that. I'm like, okay. So do that, whatever. I had it probably in total, I had it for like a week, but within that week, I had it only for 1 week. And I'm scrolling and then I see Prisma's picture and I was like, oh, she's cute. And I hearted it and then went to sleep, whatever. I don't remember how long. Maybe it was the next day I had went back and looked at it and she had messaged me. And then I was like, oh, okay, cute. And then we like talked for like maybe 2 days on there, like back and forth. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm about to delete the app. So here's my number if you want to text me.
That's a power move. Yeah. I'm actually going to delete them. Deleting this.
Yeah, so I'm deleting this.
If you want me.
If you want to get in contact, you can send me your number. She was like, okay, so like, yeah, what's up? Like, when are we like damn near like, when are we hanging out? I'm like, well, come hang out. And then we haven't left each other's side since. So.
Oh my God. The classic story.
Like that trend that's going on TikTok right now where it's like, the first time my girlfriend, literally nothing because we
like the casual song.
Yeah. Yes, literally just like that, real life. So yeah, that's how we met. Hinge.
But when y'all met, I know a little bit of the backstory again because we're fast friends. Prisma wasn't out. Mm-hmm. So can you tell me what that looked like?
Yeah.
And how the relationship looked like kind of within that?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I, by this point, had one girlfriend that I was out from. When I had first moved to LA, I had gotten into a very quick, very lesbian relationship. And I'd told my mom about her. I was like, look, this is just, that was my coming. I was like, I'm dating someone. Oh, who is he? Not a he. And so I technically came out from then. So my mom had known that I would, but she was still very much like, but you like could maybe like still date guys. Like, what is it? She's been great with it. Like she's very like, my mom's my best friend. So she's very supportive and she just loves me and whatever I do. But she was very much like, okay, like this is just going to take some getting used to, which that's fine, And Prisma she had dated a couple of girls before me, but never told her parents anything about any of the previous girls that she was dating. And honestly, never even told them really about any of the guys that she was previously dating. They just kind of never really went there with their relationship and conversations. When she first told me like, oh, like my parents don't know, like nobody really in my family knows. I was like, oh, like, okay. But obviously, once you start developing feelings for people and you guys start hanging out all the time and going on dates and doing cute things and maybe taking a picture and, it's like, how do we navigate this? Now we're like exclusively dating each other. Now we're getting more serious. Like certain questions come up where it's like, oh, okay, you aren't out. Like, how is that going to work when you're just always going to come to my family's house for holidays? Like, how is this going to work? How is this dynamic going to work? And to be honest, like, I did have a couple of rough moments at first where I was like tapping back into that old version of me where it was like, oh, I'm not getting the exact answer that I want at this moment. So I'm going to react and I'm going to kind of like blow up and cause a scene because that's what I was used to. Like, this is how we react. And she's like not that person. She's like, okay, whoa, like, let's like breathe. Let's take a second. Let's talk about everything can be talked about. And I think like her kind of like talking me off that ledge made me be like, oh, okay. Why do I care? Like, that's you and your story and that's your life. Why am I interjecting myself in something that has to do with you? This is your family. If there's any bad repercussions that come out of you coming out, that hasn't, I mean, essentially it does because I love you. It has something to do with me, but I'm not directly affected. You are.
Right.
So why am I going to force you to be ready to do something or do something for the sake of, like, you need to do it in your own time. And I think that it just showed me too that it's not about how many posts you get from this person or how many times they say, I have a girlfriend, I have this is my it's not about that. It's genuinely about like when you and this person are together and you guys are communicating and talking, like that's what matters. What's going on between you two. None of the other stuff, whether this person knows or doesn't know, that's not what's important. It's about the bond that you two have together. And I think once I realized that, I was like, oh, okay. Right. You're right. None of this other stuff does matter. Why do I care if you're posting me? Because she still would post me. It wasn't like she was like I wasn't a complete secret. But is it, oh my gosh, baby girl, this, that. Like, you know, it's like, it's more so just like, hey, like, happy birthday, I love you. Yeah. And like that to me, I'm like, absolutely, like, that's all I need, you know, because I know her on an intimate level and I know that like, that I love you means so much. Yeah. And that's okay. You know, so
the social media thing is an interesting one because my first relationship with a girl, I wasn't all the way out. That was like the relationship that I came out in. And looking back, it's interesting because at the time I was seeing her for maybe like 2 months and then I came out to my mom only. But she kind of would make comments about it and she would get upset that I wouldn't post her on social media. And so sometimes I wonder like, oh, was my timeline affected by like the way she felt or by I don't know. I don't know how it would have been if I wasn't in that relationship. But I mean, ultimately the reason that we broke up was because I went with a friend to the beach and posted a story about it. And she was upset that I was posting that, but I wouldn't post her. And it was always this narrative of like, why are you ashamed of me? Why do you not want people to know who I am? And I was out to everybody in LA. It like was not a secret, but to people back home, I hadn't done it yet.
Did you guys have those conversations though? Like, did you tell her like, hey, it's not about that, it's more so this? Like, did you?
Yeah. I mean, I think she definitely was aware that like, I just hadn't had it was COVID. I hadn't had the time to like be in person with a lot of these people, you know, and like just do it the way that I wanted to do it. And so it was like this interesting thing of feeling that kind of person in my ear and not that like supportive person with me being like, okay, yeah, I get your situation, which is also interesting because she had never really had like a conversation with her parents about like being out and I wasn't around her parents, you know? So it was just like this weird kind of situation, but it is such a delicate thing that like, you don't want to pressure somebody. You don't want to put that on them because they're the ones that have to live with this. And like, she's not around anymore, you know? And thank God my situation is like fine. And I have a great family and, you know, whatever. But it's like, in a situation where maybe it's not that way, and you force someone to do that, it's like you're affecting that person's life at like a very deep level.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure too, like, I think, situations like that, especially if you're saying like you communicated that to her, I think that just goes to show that like for you, like obviously that just wasn't the right person for you. And that's why it didn't, you know what I mean? Like you guys can have those, because it can be, this is hard right now. This is difficult right now for me. Cause I said that too. There have been times that I've been like, this is a little difficult for me to navigate right now, but we're having that conversation. I'm letting you know. And then you're also letting me know. And then obviously like once I learned Prisma more and I heard her story, her true story, I was like, oh my God, like I'm the least of anybody's worries right now. You know what I mean? It's real trauma. It's real reason. You're not just, I don't feel like telling my parents today, so I'm just not going to. There's a reason why those words can't come out of your mouth right now.
Right. This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Starting a new business can be a lot, y'all. Matilda and I always talk about how 10% of what we actually do is podcasting, and there's so many tasks and so much admin that you don't even think about, and starting a website is one of those. I am in no way a web designer, so I felt really overwhelmed when I was starting to build out our page, but Squarespace just introduced a new feature called Design Intelligence that takes all of the worry away. It combines industry-leading design expertise with cutting-edge AI, and it guides you through the entire creative process, ensuring that anyone can create a website tailored to your needs. Another thing that I love about Squarespace is the payments feature. We all love to get paid, and this makes it so easy to receive and manage your payments all in one place. Onboarding is so fast and so simple, you're literally a few clicks away from your money. Plus, it gives your customers more ways to pay with methods like Klarna, ACH, Direct Debit, Apple Pay, Afterpay, ClearPay, all of them. And connect all of your major social media and multimedia accounts to your website in just a few clicks as icons, direct links, embedded feeds. Build visitor trust while updating content only where you need it, extending your brand's footprint. Sellers also can sync their product's catalog directly with Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Google to reach more customers and reduce the steps of the purchase. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, www.squarespace.com/do-the-work to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. I try to find the littlest things that will make me excited about doing the most mundane of tasks, because sometimes even the smallest of change in your routine can make a huge difference. And I recently added Osea's Undaria Algae Shower Gel to my shower lineup, and it has transformed my daily shower from feeling like a chore into something that I actually look forward to. It's the ultimate everything shower essential, and when I use it, I feel like I'm on some luxe vacation using fancy soap in a very rich hotel. It's formulated with gentle ingredients, so it leaves you feeling clean but not dried out. And their products are vegan, cruelty-free, and climate neutral, which makes me feel even better about supporting them. Upgrade your shower with clean, vegan face and body care from Osea. Get 10% off your first order site-wide with code MADE at OseaMalibu.com. That's OSEA Malibu.com. You'll get free samples with every single order and free shipping on orders over $60. Don't miss out. Head to OseaMalibu.com and use code MADE for 10% off. I know you met Prisma's family when she was still in the closet. So what did that look like?
It looked very friendly. It was very cute, very classy, very mindful. It was definitely giving like, hey, this is my friend Talin.
Yeah.
Which we talked about a lot before going into it, which is very important. I think that had we just been like, oh, okay, we're going to do this. And then she just sprung that on me. Because I think I met them like 2.5 years in. So yeah. So wow. That would have been probably a different conversation had it been like, oh, I thought, yeah. I'm coming home as bae and you're bringing me home as like, so we had that conversation. I was totally cool with it. I was like, look, like as much time as you need, this is going to be difficult for me probably, but like, we'll figure it out, and I'm going as your friend. It also helped too that another one of her best friends came with us, so it was like
group of friends.
It was like group of friend vibes. Yeah. But I still think that like I don't know, that would be funny to know. But I feel like they still kind of knew. But
I was just about to ask, do you think anybody?
I just feel like how do parents not know?
Yeah, that's fair.
Come on, like like they know us so well. Like there's no way that I feel like one of them moms know stuff. I feel like moms know stuff, so I feel like she probably was like, like, okay, but everyone was fine. Like everything was chill. I just met them as the friend, and I knew going into that. Which, like I said, I'll reiterate that I think that's so important. Like talk about everything along the way so that things don't blow up and become a thing. And she always made it seem like, okay, like, if you need me, like if we need to take a step away and like lock in really quick, because I know it's going to be weird. It is a weird situation to be with somebody that every single day I'm with this person, we're touchy, lovey, dovey, all of the things. And then it's like you go to being with family for 5 days and it's absolutely none of that. It can be a little isolating. Yeah. So, she made it very clear, like, hey, if you need me for a sec, like, we'll make it work. Like just communicate that. But like everything was fine, and it was cool also too doing it that way, because I felt like I got like a moment to like be apart from her and like be around her mom and be around her dad and her sister and her nieces and nephews and her family versus just being like up under her. So that was like cool in that sense, and everything was chill and fine.
And you like got to know everybody without there being that layer, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, it literally felt like I was like, okay, like but also too, it's not hard for me to be her friend because she really is my best friend. Yeah. Like we naturally are best friends. This is like, we just got to cuss out. We just have to cut out, the holding hands or the little sweet nothings that, we like to whisper from across the room sometimes. But
was there like an end in sight? Like with the conversations that you guys had, was it like, oh, I'm never coming out? Or was it like someday I'll come out?
She always said like, I just need to find the words. It just needs to be the right time. And from her, I believed it. Mm-hmm. So I didn't really like, I had a lot of people on my end being like, you guys have been dating for how long? You still haven't met her family? Because like I said, I didn't meet her family until almost 2.5 years into our relationship. Yeah. So friends on my end, they're like, they love her to death, but they're like, is this serious for her? Are you sure this is serious for her?
Like the judgment that you're kind of dealing with. How did you deal with that?
I was just kind of like, I listen, I'll take it in and be like, okay. And then sometimes, some days it did affect me or bother me. And then I'd have to go back and be like, yeah, babe, this is kind of how I'm feeling. Like today it is a little difficult for me to deal with. And like, I'm sure that didn't make her feel good either. I think that there became a certain time when she was just like, okay, like, now am I being selfish by doing the easier thing, which is not coming out, versus doing something that like, I remember her specifically telling me, this was actually kind of recently too. She was like, I just feel bad because I feel like I'm stopping the process of a lot of things for a lot of people. Like I have a very small family. She has a bigger family. So it's like, if we're always only going to my family's house for holidays, she felt like she was depriving my mom of being around a big family again. And like, like being able to invite my small family to her big family. And she started looking at things like in a bigger way that I wasn't even looking at things. I was just like, yeah, babe, you'll tell them whenever, like we'll be 75 and you might tell them or you might not, like, I don't know, we'll figure it out. But I genuinely, like in my mind, I was like, don't care. Like you love me. I love you. Like we're so good. Like, I don't care. And then I think it kind of like turned, and then she started being like, well, this might not be a little fair in a lot of different ways. And maybe I just need to jump up out of my comfort zone and just like do it. But, like I said, at the end of the day, that's her journey. Like that has it has something to do with me, but the best thing that I can do is just tell her how I'm feeling when I'm feeling it. The days that I am feeling a little, this is hard, or the days that I'm like, can give you the extra support, I will. The days that I need the extra support, you give it to me. Like, that's how you work a partnership.
Yeah. It's like the more grace and compassion and safety you offer someone, the more they want to come your way. And that sounds like a little bit manipulative, but it's not. It's just like, here is this safe space, and that allows someone kind of the opportunity to grow into something and feel okay to make a scary leap.
Absolutely. And it's the discernment of, who am I allotting this type? That's a lot of power to give somebody, to be like, look, I'm going to hands up. I'm going to take a step back, and I'm going to allow you to like move these chess pieces as you see fit. That's a lot to, you know what I mean? Cause it's like, essentially also too, on the other end, like, I know this would never happen like with her specifically, but you could do that for the wrong person and they could completely fuck your whole entire life up and waste your time, and you be down and out and here for the ride for years on years on years. And then they finally get to a point where they're like, I don't want, I can't do it. I'm not going to do it, or this isn't me, or anything, know? And I think it's about having that discernment of like, this is a good person. Yeah. And like, they just need some time, and like, what am I in a rush for? Yeah. You know what's interesting? I don't even really think about this, but when I met Mathilde, she wasn't fully out. She wasn't out to her grandfather, which like, I didn't even really think about it. And when we went on our first date, we had a conversation where she said like, I'll probably never come out to him ever. He's like 92 now. Is he 92? He's 92 now. And it was kind of this thing of like, there's no need to tell him. Like, I just have no reason. I don't want to do that to him. Like, not that he's not accepting, but like, he just might like feel like I won't be able to live the life that he had envisioned for me, and all these things. And I didn't really think about it, except for in the times of like, she loves him so much. It's like her favorite person in the world. And it made me sad to think, I might never know that person, but it was never really like a big conversation. It was just kind of like this thing. And then she came out. I can't even remember like what prompted you to come out.
National Coming Out Day.
Oh my God. She on accident came out to her grandfather on National Coming Out Day. And she did it. And then she goes, oh my God, babe, it's National Coming Out Day.
So you did it not knowing. It just happened to be. Okay, because I was like, wait, does she plan? Does she plan? Like,
she was so
today's
upset.
The day.
She was like, I don't want to be one of those people. Like, she was so bummed out about it.
We don't have to tell anybody
well, we just
that
told
part. Well,
a lot of people about
just
it.
Kidding.
We're not cutting it. It's so great. It's so funny.
She said we're leaving that in.
But it was so sweet. She like called him. Can I tell this story, babe?
Yeah.
She called him to tell her. She was like, I'm just going to tell him, like, they do these like sweet little phone calls that are pretty just like the same every time. It's like, it's very sweet. She was like, I'm just going to pick a day where like he's in a good mood and I feel like the door is open. And so she told him, she was like, yeah, Grandpa, like, I don't know if you've heard, but I have a girlfriend. And he goes, oh, okay, gotta go now.
Oh my gosh. Not all right. Well, that's that on that.
And so she comes to me and she's like, I really don't know how that went.
I want to say good, but I don't quite know.
And then like 2 hours later, he calls her and he was like, well, I just wanted you to see if your girlfriend wants to come to Christmas.
No.
It's like the sweetest thing ever. Stop. And then that was when we realized it was National Coming Out Day.
Stop. Oh my. But that is so sweet.
Yeah, very sweet.
That is so sweet. Wait, so have you been able to meet him
Yes.
yet?
And so now I like have gotten to, we went on vacation with her family last year, and now I've gotten to meet everybody. And it's like, it makes me so happy because I would have been really sad if I didn't get to like meet this huge part of her. Yeah. And like, also, I don't know how I would have felt if I would have met him, like, I guess, like as a friend, and then him not knowing who I was to her.
Yeah.
I think that would have been really hard for me. So I really commend you for that, because selfishly, I would have wanted to be like, Peepaw, this is who she loves. Like, you know, like, it's me.
And see, that's the thing, like selfishly, but like, you know what I mean? It's like I said, like when you love someone so much, it's like, wait, but I want them to know, like you're saying, you know, you want them to know you. You want them to know you for who you are to Matilde, you know?
Yeah.
So, but also too, I think, and I don't know, maybe this is because of my loss, but my grandma passed. I was very, very close with my grandma. She like technically raised me as well with my mom. She passed the year before COVID. So she's never met P. And I think that that's something that's so hard for me. Like still to this day, I'm like, dang, like, and I say it all the time still, like there'll be random things going on in life. And I'll be like, dang, like, I just wish that like you could have met Grams. Like you guys would have been best friends. Like you guys would have loved each other. So I think because that there's somebody that meant so much to me in my life that she just can't meet, that I'm like, you know, even if I have to meet the most important people to her as just a friend, at least I'll be able to know them. And I want to know everybody. Of course, I want to know the people that made you who you are, you know? So I think I look at it a little bit differently, because I'm like, dang, like I know that you can't meet my grandma, and that makes me really sad. But I have all the opportunity. We're all well-bodied and well able and capable to meet each other. And if it has to be on this course, then to me that doesn't seem as bad as not being able to at all.
I really love that perspective. How long do you think it took you to get there? Very quickly.
32 years. Like, wait, I'm like, I just got to that point. I'm like, I literally said that to her this morning. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, let me rephrase the question. In the relationship, like how many conversations, how much time, how passed of you guys being together before you came to this like very wise perspective on the matter?
I'll say after the first year of us being together, I probably was like starting to really change my mindset on a lot of things. I think that's when I was like, ooh, I don't like that I respond like this in ways. I don't like that I shut down like this in ways. I don't like that I do this, that I do that. But I like this and I like this. And you make me feel comfortable when you talk to me like this and how we approach this situation. So I would say probably about like a year after. So it's like things take time.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay to like take a little bit of time. The first wrong thing that happens, you don't just throw people and toss them to the side. Like, you know, I needed a lot of patience and a lot of extra coddling and a lot of love, but I was able to, you know, change my mindset and realize that it's like, it's not all about you all the time. And things can feel so personal, obviously, because we live with ourselves every second of the day. So everything can feel so personal, but it's like, shit, really don't be that personal.
Yeah.
You know?
It is interesting when you put it in that way. It's like you needed grace extended to you as well for different things, but like, it's all equal, you know? And if she's coming your way on these things, then this is just the thing that you have to come her way on. And that's, my therapist says something, it's like, it's not always equal, but it's fair.
Yeah.
And
1000%.
That kind of sounds like that in practice.
Yeah.
So I like that.
It's not always equal. It's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
But I do know that Pris is out now. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
She's out.
And we were with you guys like right after we went to dinner, and it was like, was it the day of or like right after?
No, we literally got on a phone call. Remember, we were on the phone that one day and we were talking about it. We were like, yeah, like she's not out, all the things. That same, when we hung up the phone with you, like literally clicked threw the phone down. She's on grabbing this phone, picking up a call, out.
Wow. I have like chills. That's pretty crazy.
Literally. So technically you guys were a part of her coming out. So like, I mean,
that.
well,
Made it out.
No, made it out. Made it out. okay. Well, technically, it's literally, that's how the story goes. We literally just got off the phone with Mal and Matilde, answer this next phone call. And that was the phone call.
We were talking about you guys being on the podcast, talking about just that. Like
just that. Her not being out and me being out and how we navigate that in our relationship, all the things. Literally 5 seconds later, hey, so I told mom and dad. Her sister had called her and she was like, hey, so I told mom and dad.
Oh my God. Yes, because then we went to dinner and they were like, well, that's not going to be the topic of the episode anymore. So tell me, how did it go? What does it look like with you now? Like, how has the dynamic shifted and changed?
Yeah, so I'll leave her to tell her side of this because it's a lot. And I don't want to tell her story for her, but yeah, for me, I was like, of course, happy because I'm like, oh yay, but then instantly, it's like it almost switched, and I was like, whoa, I'm scared again. I'm feeling vulnerable. I'm feeling really seen. I'm feeling like I felt kind of like the outsider a little bit at that point because I was like, whoa, like now it's starting to get real. What if they don't like it? What if they don't like me anymore? They were chill with me when I was the friend.
Yeah.
How is it going to be when I go around them and it's like, oh, no, now, you know? So I was still, of course, trying to be there for her because I was like, whoa, like it's out now. Like, how do you feel? And all the things and be there for her. But I was like getting a little like, especially since we had a trip planned already to go to a wedding.
Oh God, with
her very Mexican Catholic family.
Yeah.
Directly after that, like literally 1 week. It was like 1 week before we were supposed to see them. So
now you're the gays at the Mexican Catholic wedding.
Absolutely. And I am literally, absolutely. And I'm like, okay, well, this is really real now. And it's like, be careful what you ask for. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
Because it's like all this time I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, wait, actually, like, it's fine. Like, I'll go back to being the friend because I just instantly got like scared and nervous. You know, I'm like, she's sitting here like, gliding like her best self because she has this massive weight off of her shoulders.
Yes.
And it's almost like that weight damn near just fucking trickled over to me because I was like, whoa, now I'm feeling like, okay, like they know, but I still don't want to be too showy. Now it's like, are they going to be looking at me longer, staring at me a little bit more? Is it going to, it was all these things going through my mind.
And the thing is when you go, even now, like being so confident and so out and so gay, when you go to something like that, an event or a function where you know that you are going to be, we just went to a wedding where we knew like, okay, we're probably going to be like one of the only gay couples and
if
also
not the
like
only
yes and also like we know that there might be some interesting views at this wedding. It's like that is so like, oof, okay, I gotta watch. You're so like aware of yourself and the way you move. And then add the layer that it's like, it's family and she just came out and they've known you under a different circumstance.
Alias. This one.
Yes, that's a lot of pressure. So how did it go?
Yeah. So how was it? So how was it? Well, I'm like, wow. Honestly, I think I might have gotten a little too lit. Because at first I was like, oh, it's amazing. Like, it's a Mexican wedding. Everybody will just drink and we'll just be so drunk. And then we won't even have to think about anything. Just tequila, you know? But it was like, no, it was emotions. Yeah. Like, it was so, I definitely tried to like liquor it up, which we did. And we all did. And it was a great time. But there were a couple of parts of the night where I just like got in my own head so much that I was just like, oh my God. And then we weren't really around each other. Yeah. So I think that too made me feel a little alienated. I'm like, whoa, it was the same as before. The same as when I went as a friend. Yep. Didn't I just tell you 20 minutes ago? Oh, I loved it. Yeah. It was amazing. Right. Then it switched. It was like it literally all switched. I started feeling like, oh my gosh, where are you? Yeah. Where are you? I literally, even at one point, I had gotten a little irritated with her. I was like, you don't want to dance with me? I was like, your sister's baby daddy just danced with me. You don't want to dance with me? She's like, babe, like, let's just relax. Like, that's the tequila talk. Actually, we had Hennessy then. That's the Hennessy talking.
Yep.
Like, just like, it's fine. Like, nothing's changed. Like, you're good. We're good. Like, if you still need a moment, we can go and have our moment. But like, like, you're fine. And I'm like, okay, like, you're right. You're right. Like, it's that constant like check-in though.
Yeah.
Like, if I wasn't able to check in with her, it would, it wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
But we have that where it's like, okay, you're feeling this, check in. But I mean, yeah, I did have a little moment with her parents at one point, and it was really awkward. And it was like, but it was just like, that's what's going to happen.
Yes.
Expect it. You just got to roll with the punches, I didn't have the words at the time. I didn't know what to say. I literally looked at her dad. Her dad was very emotional, and I was just looking at him being like, she's just my best friend and I love her, and that's the only thing I can tell you. And he was just like, I'm just gonna need time. And that is okay.
Yes.
Did I still go in the bathroom and cry after because I felt like, oh my gosh, like if I wasn't in the picture, he wouldn't be going through all this pain and all the things, right? All the things that we just put on ourselves that have no business being put on ourselves. It's like, the man just told you he needs some time, Talin.
Yeah.
And why are you sitting here being so dramatic? Like, oh my God, I should just not be here. Like, you know what I mean? That's not what he said.
Yeah.
He didn't run you out. He wasn't rude. He was just like, I need time. And that's okay, you know? And so I think we're just at that moment now where it's just kind of like, he knows, like, and he'll, they'll be on the phone and they'll mention me. They'll be like, oh yeah, something, like you and Talin, or she'll mention me. It's, my name is thrown around. My name is out there. They know the situation.
Yeah.
They need time now. And I love her, so I'll give them the time. And we're just all in a space right now where we're just giving everybody grace and hearing each other out. And really kind of like everybody just like working together, to try and make it be like, okay, like it's more so of a thing of like, we just all need to get cozy with each other because we're here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's like everything happens the way it's supposed to. And it's so great that you guys had those years where you had to be in these situations and learn how to communicate and learn like the moment away and we need to reconnect and all of that, because I feel like it only built you guys to be strong enough to be in this moment now.
1000%. We talk about that all the time. 1000%. Had this been a conversation when we were first dating, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. No.
It would have been so tough.
So tough. And had I forced her to come out when she wasn't even ready, where she didn't even have the words herself, now she can say it at the top of her lungs. Like, you know what I mean? She's so much more articulate in how she feels about me, and she's sure about me, which is also fair. Yeah. It's fair for you to not want to jump into something if you don't 1000% know. Why would she completely wreck her parents' whole minds and brains over something that's not serious?
Yeah.
So it's like, if I'm coming to you with this and I'm telling you that this is what it is, it's like, I'm serious about this.
Yeah. And I feel like because they had the time to get to know you and like you're so lovable and you're around them, I feel like that's probably making it easier for them in a way where it's like, okay, we love this person though, when they have those doubts in their mind, it's probably like, that's the reassurance, you know, and they see you guys together. And I'm so happy for y'all. I love y'all. I think this is such an incredible story and you're an incredible person. And I'm so happy we're friends.
Oh my God.
My hands are so clammy.
No, it's okay. I'm like, y'all are the same person, okay? It's fine.
I'm always clammy hands.
Best friends.
But I really do love you guys and I appreciate you being here and sharing your story and being so vulnerable.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. Cheers. Love you, fast friend.
Okay, I forgot one more question.
Okay.
What are you working on in therapy, or what are you working on self-development wise?
So need to be in therapy, should probably get in therapy, but just being gentler with myself.
I like this.
Being kinder to myself. I feel like for a very, very, very long time, I've just been so super hyper critical of myself. And I think obviously like getting into the relationship that I'm in, doing my podcast now and like being in front of the camera versus behind the camera all of the time.
You find that helpful or hurtful?
I find it helpful because it's
interesting.
just like forcing me. Like I have to show up to the podcast days. Like I have to shoot. I have to be in front of the camera. Y'all called me here. I have to be here. I have to come. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, so it's just kind of like forcing myself out of whatever little box and whatever little shell I felt I needed all those years ago that I didn't need at all. So I think just like being like kinder, gentler, and more loving just to myself in general.
Yeah, I really like that. And I feel the same way a lot of the times. Like at first when we started doing this, it was really hard for me. I could hardly watch the episodes.
Which is insane because I look at you and I'm like, bro, you fucking kill it. Like you kill it.
Thank you.
No, seriously.
But it's hard. It's hard not to want to like pick at yourself and be like, but I don't like that and I don't like that. And it has forced a grace. Even though I've fought that, like I've fought the grace, it's like, it is kind of like, oh, okay, whatever. I look like shit in that one, but what I had to say was fine, you know?
And it's also too like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I know that like, yes, people do give a fuck. People give too much of a fuck. And that's why, you know, like people are mean and people like to comment and say certain things, but it's like, no, like like, who cares? Like just be you, do you. And as long as you love yourself and as long as the people that are around you love you, that is genuinely, quite literally all that matters.
Yeah.
You know?
I like that.
So yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Can you tell everyone about your podcast and where to find you?
Yes.
Just everything.
Yes. So, Honey, I'm Home podcast.
Explain the name.
Okay.
It's so cute.
Okay. So basically Prisma came from like a broadcast journalism background. I come from, like I said, behind the camera. I'm a wardrobe stylist. So I'm like, yeah, like you're not seeing me in front of the camera. She, on the other hand, she loves it. She's like, grab me the mic, give me a human, and let's chit chat, right? So she had a sneaker podcast with a friend a few years ago, I think during COVID, if I'm not mistaken. And then it just kind of like, timing of it all, it just didn't work out. And she was really, I kept telling her, I was like, babe, you need to get back, like do a podcast, like do another one, like do it by yourself. Like you're so good in that lane. Just do it. You love it. Like, just do it. And then she's like, okay. She's like, well, would you want to do it with me? I'm like, huh? What? I'm like, okay, like, sure. If that's going to get you back into it, like, sure, I'll do it. Like, you know, fuck it. Let's do it. Cute. Right. I think we had told one of our friends that we were thinking about it. We were like, yeah, we're going to start a podcast together, but we don't want it to be like super relationship based and like only be on there talking about our relationships. Cause we have a lot of like really cool, like friends and, you know, people that we could like connect with and talk to and whatever. So we're like, we'll make it more like, you know, just conversation based. And then my friend was like, oh, like you guys should call it Honey, I'm Home. And I'm like, oh, like that's kind of like cute. It's kind of got a ring to it. And then just cherry on top of the cake, I have a cat named Honey. So it's like,
it is so cute.
And we had just moved in together. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It just, whatever. It made sense at the time, but I don't know if I told that story very well, but yeah. So it's like, yeah, we live together. We have a cat named Honey and we have a podcast. It's called Honey, I'm Home.
And what's your handles so people can find you?
Handles. So on TikTok and Instagram, it's the Honey, I'm Home pod. And then, yeah, YouTube, just Honey, I'm Home pod.
Perfect.
Thank
you.
Thanks, Mel.
All right, we play our game.
Okay.
It's called You Haul or You Ghost.
Okay.
And this time we have visuals, so this is different.
Okay, this is fun.
Okay, she's perfect in every way, except for the first time you go to have sex, she takes off her shirt and she has these.
Oh my God.
For those only listening, right on her tits, she has, it's this woman with her tits out and she has like real life portraits of her kitty cats.
Wait, and these are hers too.
I would think so.
I mean, I would hope so. I don't. Oh,
she's perfect in every way.
In every single way.
In every way, like so great. But like you have to stare at these, and they're big. Like these look like probably at least 4 or 5 inches.
Every single way, fuck. Every single way, I have to, I guess, deal with it.
No, stop.
I guess I have to. If every single way, I can maybe ask her to get them removed or something, but like, I have to.
They're there for
every
life.
single way. Good people don't come. That it's very far and few between. So I'd have to say, I can't say you haul to that. I can't. Okay, I'm sorry. You ghost. You ghost. I cannot say. I looked at it one more time. I was like, I can't sit here and lie. I'm trying to be a good person. I'm so sorry. That's too much. And I love my cat, but that's way too much.
That is a lot.
That's a lot. And then imagine like we grow old together, and then that's like, you know what I mean? Like
then the cats are 7 inches. 8 inches.
I'm not you.
Stretch cats.
Yeah, you ghost. I have to you ghost on that one. I'm so sorry. Nobody do that.
To anybody.
Nobody do that. That's not good.
Somebody's listening like, damn it.
Damn
They
it.
had their appointment.
No, they're all, fuck.
What about if they constantly use therapy speak? I'm trying to think of like a good example. Like, well, the way I feel like about this, or what's like another.
To be honest, I don't mind that.
You don't?
I don't. You haul because number one, for me, I feel like that means that you aren't just hearing what your therapist is saying, you're actually learning and listening to what she's saying. And if you're rewinding it and saying it back to me, that's you trying to get it in your brain. So I would be hopeful that along the line, you can stop that and just speak normal, you know? But I'm like...
So I'm hoping you will change. So you haul.
So you haul, yeah. I always am falling in love with potential. If you can't tell.
Oh my God, this one's bad. She loves to play air guitar.
I don't like that.
But she's perfect in every way and she plays air guitar. I guess that's fine. But like...
We have such a different you because we're all opposite. You're all, that's fine. I'm all, ooh.
That's your line. Air
right,
guitar.
that's
like,
right. I'm like,
cats considering it.
Maybe. Air guitar, absolutely not. I mean, I guess it's cute. I probably do something like weird too sometimes, probably. But air guitar, I mean, does she actually play guitar?
Air.
Air.
What about if she talks through the entire movie? This doesn't bother me. This is kind of me.
Oh, okay. Talks through the entire movie. Yeah, I think low-key that might be a little me too. So I guess I can't get mad at somebody else for doing something that I do.
I'm bored. I want to talk.
Yeah, and like I just want to talk about what just happened.
Yeah.
But, like, are you a pauser? Do you pause and then talk about it? Or you let it run and then you have to run it back because you were just talking?
The latter, babe.
I was going to say,
I pause.
No, you don't rewind. Crazy. And then I missed the whole movie. Be kind, rewind.
I'm either that or I'm asleep.
Fair. Yeah. What else are movies for?
Thank y'all for listening to today's episode. As always, help us spread the gay agenda by writing an Apple review, rating us on Spotify, and sharing it with everyone you've ever met. Made It Out is produced and edited by Matilde Jordan and worked on solely by lesbians.
This is a haiku about being lesbian. I am a bottom.